getting ready to work out. Part of me feels like that this is dedicated to any young kid who doesn't know how to find a routine in all this. I don't know, when stuff changes, I always feel like you need to establish yourself a thing that you do every day. And for me, exercise really helps set a tone for the day. Might not be for everybody for whatever reason, but this happens to be my reason. I don't know. I was talking to my dad, and my dad was kind of concerned about my nephew and, going to an online environment and stuff. You end up having a degree of openness, but, of like being flexibility of your time, where it isn't somebody. Hold on. That's the song I want to start with. I love that song. And, anyway, I got, he was kind of concerned and being like, well, I'm going to make my grandson breakfast, and, but I'm going to tell him he needs to get up in the morning and get to class and whatever. And he just has his head my dad, he just has his head underneath the covers every day. And I don't know. I think, having to set some type of tone in terms of getting your day started, where you end up just not sliding, you don't know how long ultimately anything's going to go on for, and letting things slide day to day ends up kind of having effects to your body, your immune system, things like that. And I find needing to exercise is one of those things I need to do. And running kind of feels like it's out of the question. It's like, I know people do go for runs, but out here I think that there's a density that I don't think is comfortable for me to go do. So I just kind of have moved as much as I can inside, other than like walking Petey and getting some sun in the afternoon. And my particular choice workout is a deck of pain workout, or a deck of cards workout, where we are going to set mode. It's an app. I don't have a deck of cards, or my son gets pissed when I take his cards. Diamonds are push-ups, clubs are sit-ups, hearts are body squats, spades are burpees, and it goes number of suits, and jacks are 11, queens are 12, kings are 13, and aces are 14. There's no jokers. They have other joker sets, but this one does not have it. So I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to end up kind of recording little bits of this, but I'm not going to use all of it or anything. So anyway, here you go. Let's get started. 11 body squats. 3rd this week. I'm sore in my legs. 8 body squats. Get them out of the way. 4 push-ups. 4 body squats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14 sit-ups. Computer does not shuffle decks. 1. 7 sit-ups again. 1, 2, 3 push-ups. 6 burpees. 13 push-ups. 12 steps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Hey, bud.
Oh, you're sweaty.
Yeah, I'm sweaty. 7 body squats. It hurts my legs doing the body squats. 1, 2, 10 steps. I'm finding my 3rd one this week that I gotta get lower. I feel a lot of pain, muscle soreness in my legs, in my quads. I got 10 of these, 10 of these. 14 body squats. Jeez, I got all the squat face cards out of the way, that's good. I'm gonna make myself breathe if I have to. I've already done 68 sit-ups to 38 push-ups. I know where the remainder of this workout's going. Push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 burpees. Damn. 14 push-ups, good God. So I found myself, I clear the muscle pain by doing like a little downward dog to clear through these. That's a good tip to not make you go to your knees and do the modified push-ups. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I didn't cheat. 11 burpees. I might cheat here, jeez. I don't want to. I want to get this through. How many more cards? 23. That's a good spot to feel this. 11. 12 push-ups. Jesus Christ, they're coming. It's all coming. 8 burpees. I think we broke this. I think we cracked it with all the face cards. I haven't seen any left. 11 sit-ups. It's funny when you pray for sit-ups. That's like a sweet release. It's really nice to do yoga in between these so you can kind of stretch your muscles out. You can't do this every day on your wrists. It's gonna murder your hands, give you carpal tunnel and everything else. Fuck up your shoulders. But doing those stretch out exercises in between are really gonna like help you with rotation and stretching out and ironing out, like combing your muscles out, so to speak. I find 9 push-ups. 6, 7, 8, 9. Not acting, doing it. 2 more push-ups, fuck. Other thing, having sock feet on a carpet's really good with burpees because you can kind of get a nice little resistance coming back up and sliding your feet. 5 burpees. 14 cards remaining. Getting there. Extend legs, extend arms. 1, 2. Always try to get that extension. It helps your back. 3, 4. Work on the motion. Don't put too much pain on your wrists, as you'll snap them. 13 body squats, 5 body squats, 5 more. I'm gonna make them count. Make the small reps count. Focus on your range of motions on the small ones. I know you're sore the more times you do them, but that'll help slowly warm up and get your range of motion good. And you'll work through that muscle pain a little bit. Kind of kneading them a little bit. 1. You also gotta take care of those legs too. You can tear a knee, tear a quad. Just work on your range of motion as you feel good. 2 sit-ups. Child's play. Child's play. 10 left. 10 cards left. 10 push-ups. Easy. Actually, I thought I had no more double-digit push-up counts. Oh, I'm wrong. No, I think that was squats. I have no more double-digit squats. I have double-digit push-ups to go. 7, 8. Downward dog again. Shit. I'm fading. 2 more. 8 more push-ups. So does that mean I'm done with push-ups? I hope so. Because I don't know how many more I can do in a sitting. I got this. 8 in a row. Mind over matter. Got it. Maybe I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not downward doggy. 7. One more. Clear that lactic acid. 1 more. Oh, got it. 10 burpees. Be careful at the end of your burpees. Make sure you got good form. Down knees, kick out, back and up. I'm not doing a push-up in these because I got push-ups. 2, 4 more burpees. I'll be at 99. Actually, no, I'm at 95 now. And count them like I already did them. That's not true. 1, 2, 3,
Oh man, I just got done with a workout. I'm going to be breathing heavy in the microphone. I'll try not to do that. And I'm just going to kind of freeform and talk as I'm kind of got my brain kind of hardwired right now. Oh, there's something that happens that's amazing that when you work out. And it's interesting because, I'm dealing with students that have been kind of transitioned to an online platform, and they all have their own kind of independent, they have their own like kind of independent issues and workflows and things like that because they're having to develop it. And one piece of advice I always try to give is like keep a routine, however you ultimately can. This isn't exactly, prison. Like we're free. We're free in our apartments. We're free to work and carry out whatever we want to do or whatever we have at our disposals, and whatever we can afford and whatever. It isn't like your rights are basically taken away. You have the ability to do whatever you want in this particular space. And for me, I always find that setting a regiment of exercise always helps me out. And it kind of started back when I was working for my family's business and how it ultimately failed. I didn't have time for anything during that time. I was having to basically run the office and make sure payroll ran and collected money and paid out money. And at the end of that process, that was the scariest thing that I ever ultimately dealt with in my life. And it's a distant memory at this point. It took a really long time to get out from under. And, one thing that allowed me to get out from under it a day at a time was exercising, running, and I started running around Herman Park, basically, in Houston. And, slowly started kind of having athletic setbacks, making sure like what the right type of shoes to wear for me were, ultimately found like open toe shoes or, wide toe box shoes helped me out. Cause I went through a couple bouts of basically, having joint numbness and whatever else that happened from it, learned from my mistakes, dealt with the injury, moved forward. And I want to say right now, when was that? 2015 I started. So this has been 5 solid years of working out a good 3-4 days a week. And I know when I haven't worked out, and it basically recharges my brain. I'm foggy, and then I end up just giving myself anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to work out, and whatever that ultimately is. Mostly it's like 40 minutes to an hour. And when I come back, I'm ready to go. During this exercise or during this period of time, running is the thing that ultimately makes me the most happy. But finding deck of pain exercises with just a deck of cards or basically the app on my phone ends up giving me in 20 minutes what I feel like I would do in 40 minutes running. Where if I felt like if I was jogging for 40 minutes, I would be managing my heart rate by speeding up, slowing down, working on my cadence, kind of like rowing a boat. You don't want to like gas yourself. You want to kind of go for longer. But something about these exercises, like they're a different type of cardiovascular exercise. It almost makes me feel like I am sprinting. It's like when I get into the burpees in the exercise and I have to do like, I draw 2 ill-formed cards, like a 14 and a 13 instead of burpees back to back. By the end of it, I'm like panting really heavy. This particular day, this is probably like my 8th set since starting this kind of stay-at-home quarantine. And this is the first day I've done back-to-back days where I've gotten through it no problem. What I feel is broken on my body right now are my quads, like the upper part of my quads, not my knees. So I always feel like I'm getting good exercise in when I've got the upper part of my quads on fire, like, cramped and broken. So if I can get through that, that's a good hump to get over in terms of getting stronger. Depending on how long this ultimately is, I'm going to give myself the goal of being able to do 2 of these back to back, like not in one sitting. So I go through a deck of cards, reshuffle, go through another deck of cards and try to get through 2 in one workout. Cause I can consistently get them at like 20 minutes. When I started this, I could do it in 40 and then I did it in 30. And now I'm kind of like hitting my time at like 20 minutes even. I might be faster as I get stronger. I might be able to kind of bump through this in 15 or 12 or something, you know. If I start maxing out that time, I might start doing 2 decks back to back, you know, and that would be kind of a cool feat, cool hobby to get through with this. And, you know, it's like, you know, you look at a big deck of cards, or in this case, the app, it's telling you like there's 52 cards left, 50, 40, 30. You know, I never really even focus on that number. I just focus on the pile, you know, the thing, the task that's in front of me. And I think that that's ultimately how you kind of get through this. You know, you kind of give yourself things to do, you know, focus on the thing at hand at the time. Try not to get multitasking, you know, where you end up, you know, if you are in a work situation having to deal between emails and whatever else, like really try to focus on your task and give it like your whole mental effort, and then get another one, then get another one, then get another one. And then, you know, I don't know. I feel like that if you can keep that going as long as possible, you aren't going to have any emotional issues through this. And I guess my outlet is exercising, and I think it ends up helping because you need to breathe. You know, I feel like during all of this, it's like tomorrow we have to go out to the store. You know, we haven't been out in 2 weeks, roughly about 2 weeks. So it's like, you know, everything that you do when you go out is kind of like, don't breathe, you know, take little half breaths, but you don't get oxygen. Your brain, your body doesn't calm down when you're not getting oxygen. So like exercise at the very least, if you hate it, if you hate people being, look at me, I'm doing it, and you're not doing it. At the very least, who gives a shit about like beach bodies or whatever else? Just do something that's going to make you breathe and open up, and just open up and breathe. And it'll, I swear to God, it'll make you feel better. Okay. I'm going to take a shower, and I don't know. It's Friday. I'm going to see if I can focus on some other tasks that I've been meaning to put off. So, cool. Cheers.
These are the ones with the ties instead of elastic, because I ran out of elastic, so I just I use tank top that's stretchy. And this is supposed to be functional as a mask with 4 ties. But they take longer to make because I have to cut the t-shirt and then sew each string to the mask. But all in all, it only takes me like 15 minutes to make a mask. And this one, it's with like a bandana pattern and denim in the outside. See?
That's good. Seems like the elastic version works better though. But I guess you have to go to more trouble tying the bow in the back at 2 points. But it seems like it works pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna wash them all.
Yeah, I was wearing mine today, and I felt like the fabric was just a touch scratchy. I'm sure it'll help. So how many are you gonna make per person?
So far I have 4. I have 6. I have material for 6. And 2 of them are for my parents.
Cool.
But if I if I go through my closet and find some other garments that I'm not using, I can make more. Like I found the bandana this morning, and then I found a pair of jean shorts that I made last year that I hardly wear, and they are like soft denim that I think it's durable and
but soft at the same time to put on your face type of thing.
yes, but the denim goes on the outside.
Yeah.
But I think it's durable material that can withstand like several washes. And then the bandana is just like the typical cover up for your face for ages. But I think I only have one. But I have plenty of t-shirts in the closet that I don't use that I can repurpose for this.
I'd like to see if we ever get a hold of an N95 mask ever again. Like if it fits over an N95 mask.
It might fit. Maybe the ones with the ties are better for the N95 because you can adjust it. Who knows?
That's good. I'm proud of you.
It's not hard. ¿Para qué, mi rey?
Oh, I know. It's in my closet. Never mind.
John Prine has it.
Who's that?
Singer.
Who?
He's 70. John Prine's a folk singer. So do you want to go on a cruise this summer?
No.
That's a joke. There's a cruise ship with 4 dead people on it that can't be docked here
Why?
because they're quarantined. They can't be released into the public. So they're keeping them like quarantined on the boat.
That is insane. All the passengers are on the boat?
All of this is clickbait to make you buy a new subscription.
Oh.
Mama, what's happening on this here?
Oh, no, mi rey.
We're waiting for people to show up on Zoom.
What's Zoom?
Zoom is the video conferencing app that we've been watching the Abus and family through on the computer.
Can I have kombucha, Mama?
Sí, amor.
Give me kombucha, not the ginger one.
Oh, we don't have any more ginger.
Right?
Yeah.
Gingers are gross.
Yeah. Hey, Kitty McKitterson. There you go. Cheers.
Marco, bájale volumen, porfa.
So can you break a sewing needle? They break because they're dull, or they've been fatigued by being pushed?
Yes, and also because I had like 4 layers of fabric.
So it was like an oldish needle, and then you were pushing it through fabric.
It was like a weird bump. machine, yes, it's like about 8 years old.
About 8 years old. You've had it for 8 years.
But I'm now making all of these details. This one is really cute because it has this.
Oh, that's beautiful. The bloods together.
But this one, I'm doing the hemming like a real blue jean.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Like it's not until I make 3 or 4 that I start like getting
The hang of it.
the hang of the pattern.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I can tweak it here and there and then make my own. Like this one feels a lot more secure.
Yeah. I'm finding the podcasting process is very helpful to help me like internalize and be able to storytell.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because like you're talking out loud and then you're coming up with ideas but recording them, but then you're listening to yourself as you go through the editing process
Mm-hmm.
to pick what's going to be your 30 to 40 minutes of like auditory, like sonic journey, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that you end up having kind of cool monologues that you can end up starting and kind of structured out with your writing.
Yeah.
And I find it really helpful. I find it incredibly helpful. It just takes time. But that 40 minutes was the hardest 40 minutes because of like all of the different clips that I was dragging from and trying to transition all the parts together.
It was over several days.
Yeah, well, it was over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is only 5 clips. Like the next one, I didn't record that much,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the weekend was detailed because it had all these different tracks. So it was like I was stereo recording sounds while recording condenser mic audio and stuff. So it was like the setups were a little bit more complicated,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. I'm only going to buy lithium batteries because these lithium batteries are still doing great. Like I bought a set of batteries for $25, like a pack of, I think a pack of 16.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like double, like this set of batteries is, I haven't changed them yet. Whereas the last set, they would only last like a day.
Didn't you buy like rechargeable battery?
I did, I haven't used them yet. Because the lithiums are doing so good.
Sunday. I forget the day. It's like 27th or 28th or something like that. And I am walking Petey. This time with a mask. So it's kind of cool because I feel like I got like a pop filter. Hold on. I'm going to have to cut that out. Maybe I don't know. Whatever. You might have to deal with it. But what you end up finding out is that just doing a test run on the mask. I haven't ultimately used the mask yet. Jenny Lynn made some up for the store, and I think it's kind of cool to ultimately use. Come on, buddy. How's it going? Mainly because people haven't gotten it yet. They haven't paid attention to anything yet. So it's like a friggin' at-home work party type of thing. And what I find about it is people don't give you space. So now maybe I look like a weirdo and I get all the best space I need. How's it going?
mainly just pissed at this apartment complex. I think it's like people do value it. They do value the stand in place order, but they still don't give you space, because you also got to deal with the fact that people just don't get it yet, or they're paying attention to the fact that maybe they're in disbelief and they haven't seen anything happen to them. I think there's a common mindset to think about where it's like, because it's not happening to me, it must not be happening to anybody else. The saying goes, what do you call it? If I keep my job, it's a recession, but if I lose my job, it's a depression. Where people, if they don't register that loss in like real time, then, or like real, probably the better way to put it is like a real actual loss, they kind of keep things going as business as usual or normal. It's to the point where like our apartment complex, for example, like has food trucks come out, where I thought it was like a brilliant move. Our apartment complex had food trucks coming out, and with my wife, I thought it was a very nice move on her part to say, you really think it's a good idea to have like a food truck come out to us where people are physically out? Like, we live in an apartment complex that probably has, I don't know how many units, but I would have to guess like a few hundred units at least. There's probably about a good 800-900 people in our space that if anyone gets them, I mean, the walls are so thin. I mean, I can hear people partying above me at night, which kind of leads me of, like I kind of was talking about that earlier, or I can hear them above me and the sides of me, like every moment of the day, where people aren't giving each other any space whatsoever. And, you know, anybody gets it, it'll spread. So you're doing whatever you can, because this is the only time you're outside dealing with people and you're trying to stand in place. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I got it. And maybe it's overreacting. Sure. Probably is. I'm probably like a fucking idiot right now. But that's fine. I'm an idiot. I'm not taking any chances right now. I feel like maybe my intuitions have been a few weeks ahead, where I'm prepared versus maybe not. But I'm not that prepared. I'm just trying out the mask mainly. Looks good. The one thing the mask I think it kind of gives you is you feel like if you walk by somebody or nobody's giving you space, at least you have it, and you have the mask in case if somebody kind of gets around you. But I also look like I'm crazy. So if I look like I'm crazy, people will give me space. It's like, get the fuck away from me. It's like I want my goddamn dog and get in and get back in. Yeah, it's like you see people like get into cars and go with each other. So I don't know. They say April and May is going to be the months. We'll see. We're a little early, but I don't think we're early. I think I would also, man, next week's the 1st. I wonder what's going to happen in the 1st. You know, like, ooh, a food truck, cool. Yeah, well, there's no management. You don't see anybody around whatsoever. They deleted the tweet, or they deleted her reply, and I thought that was a really great thing. I brought it up like multiple times today. I'm like, they did that to you? And she's like, you're still bringing that up? I'm like, yeah, I am still bringing that up. Because this place, as much as it looks nice, I mean, they will evict you if you're If you lose your job, they will evict you. If you don't have the money, they will evict you. And they'll be super legal about it. They will put it on your credit record, credit rating scores, and everything else. Also makes you realize that you're around people you don't want to be around. That's a component to this, that I just don't want to see anybody. I don't want to be nice to anybody. I just want to be alone. I want to be separate. I'm tired of having to hear people around me, and especially not respecting. Like, I think that that's the other thing about, like, the mask or whatever, where it's a respect. You're respecting somebody else's space. I feel like as a renter, you're not, I don't know, it's like dealing with people not respecting your space at all. Like, you live in a constant situation where your space isn't respected. I don't like it. But what are you gonna do? I guess buy a house, right? You'll have neighbors that do the same thing to you. They'll have your dog. Their dogs will shit on their sidewalks or whatever. It's not the renter or ownership thing. It's just mainly people aren't respecting other people's space or decisions, you know. Let's go this way. I can hear people. It's funny. I have a heightened sense of auditory awareness, because I'm wearing headphones to monitor mic levels and stuff, and making sure I'm at the right peaks and whatnot. I'm like, I can hear things. I'm not like ruffling or anything's messed up audio wise. And which means I can also hear people. You might not hear it with the Omni lav mic I got going on here. That's the other thing too. Like, I don't know if like what I got in my throat that's just not going away is it, you know, or is something that I don't want to give anybody, you know. I don't know for sure. Also, it needs to rain. I do see oak pollen out the ass. And I also find when I wear the mask, maybe I'm filtering out the oak pollen. And somebody makes fun of me. I'm like, dude, I've got allergies. I might have coronavirus. You don't know. You don't know. What do you know? That's the other thing. Like, this thing, the floor, the goddamn parking lot looks like goddamn greased shit. You know, it looks like people have their garbage smeared on the fucking parking lot. Hasn't been washed or cleaned or anything. They don't have the money. That's the other thing. For all of the luxury bullshit in this place, everything is for show. Everything's for show. They got barbecue grills, got no gas in them. They got fire pits, no gas in them. Swimming pool hasn't been cleaned. You know, that's before all this. People were using it during all this, before the stand-in-place order. They were using the swimming pool. You know, what else? What else to think about? They got like office computers that the mice or the keyboards are always, like, the batteries are always dead in them. So it's like mainly just for Instagram and social media. Like, hey dude, look how hip and happening this piece of shit is. And then you get in here and you're kind of just like, it's disgusting. I finally saw the person through, I guess, like, opening the door this morning that had the audacity, nay, the laziness factor, to leave her leaking fucking garbage in a pool directly outside us, you know. It's like, if somebody has that as their front door, do you think like their private life ultimately has any type of cleanliness in it? Yeah, it's when do you get to say to somebody like, hey, clean up, dude? Like, they're not gonna clean up. Like, you can ask them to clean up, but nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. It isn't. And it's more like kind of renting versus owning type of situations, you know, like we're all pushed into rentership or rentership or whatever you call it. You know, not being able to be worried about that down payment or keep a job for long enough to keep your credit clean or whatever else, and you know how hard it ultimately is to get into a home. But you don't necessarily want a home either, you know. There's pluses and minuses to every situation. It's just, I don't know. You probably could get into pay a few $100 extra a month for the private thing, but I don't have the money for that, so what are you gonna do? It's like these little drops. I know it's probably air conditioner, but damn, Petey walks in it. The grass is also dying everywhere already. Like they're not taking care of the place. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that documentary, The Pruitt-Igoe Myth. You know, it's like you're in a big enough place, and you start to smell. This is like a security, like somebody owns it as a money-making instrument. That we're again like cattle. And we're like cattle. That at some point when this is not paid for in any way, that's when the shit's gonna hit the fan with it. So if they're not making money, then they're gonna have difficulty making dumpster pickups because they can't pay for the waste disposal. You know, all this stuff. You know, you can definitely see when these things will start to fall apart, because it's kind of like a Ponzi scheme in a way. If people don't have it, then you can't pay for other stuff, and it ends up kind of like, oh, I paid you the money, then if you paid me the money, where are the services? You know, there should be a fine for people to leave their trash out for a second. Or this is on them. This is on anybody who hasn't, I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna start bitching. I'm gonna go back in. I didn't really record much. I recorded a little bit. Wife made masks. Hard to breathe. Reminds me of woodworking. When you have wearing a mask in the summertime. But it's not summertime, it's only the end of March. It's hot. Alright. Back in.